when you came on, it was like a couple weeks after, I think, or I don't know how long, but soon after Elon had bought Twitter, and it's gotten a lot worse.
Yeah.
How's it
Really?
going over there? How's it going over there? How's it gotten worse in terms of like who's being emboldened and empowered and how?
Oh
And
my
then I want
God.
to talk about threads, but yeah.
Yeah, where to even start, right? Like, it's just been like a steady decline in the 6 or so months. He took it over in October, so I guess a little over 6 months now that he's been in control of it. But it just seems quite clear that Elon Musk does not understand the platform and what people actually enjoyed about it. You know, one of his first actions was to basically wage war on the journalists on the platform and the
Yeah.
people who had like blue check marks and stuff. But in particular, he hated the fact that journalists had it. And like one of the reasons that a lot of people went to Twitter was for information and news and like keeping up on current events. So you kind of want to know who is trustworthy and who's not just like paying $8
But
to
Paris,
Elon
all
Musk.
you need is Matt Taibbi, and that's
Yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah.
who
Hasn't
actually
Matt
reads
Taibbi even
anyone
left
else?
now?
I know, no, because he cracked down on Substack, and Taibbi was
Yeah.
like, we talked about this, and he was like, I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
Awful.
So, you know, all that kind of stuff happened. But over time, like Elon Musk has cut the staff to the bone. So, you know, there's constant technical issues. Hasn't paid the rent on buildings. He has reduced the amount of servers that they're using. Recently, at the beginning of the month, there was a big controversy because he limited the number of tweets that people could look at. We're still not 100% sure why that happened, but we
Is that
know
done now?
that's over,
That's
at least
okay.
at the moment. But
It's
one of the things we know is that
Yeah.
his contract with Google Cloud was ending at the end of June, and he hadn't been paying his payments. And I believe these Oracle Cloud contracts were also in jeopardy. And the reporting said that Linda Yaccarino, the new CEO, came in and kind of smoothed over the relationship with Google. But right when that cloud contract was supposed to end, all of a sudden, you know, the site was going down and we had to limit the tweets. And it was just about bots, apparently. But I don't think that's actually the case. So I think clearly you see that he doesn't understand like what people liked about the platform. He's making it very unappealing to a lot of people. That's why every time there's a new app, people are like, is this the replacement finally? Can we please? Can this be it? Can we just leave Twitter? And in particular, he has designed this platform, whether intentionally or not, but I think it probably leans more intentional, especially when you see his kind of opinions, the types of things that he responds to on Twitter, that it's really a platform to elevate the right even further than it already did. There was reporting in 2021 that Twitter admitted its algorithms were already favorable to the right, but now Elon Musk has unbanned a lot of the most extreme right-wing accounts. And he introduced a new system recently where he's going to start paying creators, but the creators he's paying, at least to start, are all handpicked by the company, which means probably Elon Musk. And it was pretty much like Andrew Tate and a bunch of like right-wing weirdos, you know, not any like normal
but the people who were already on, the people who probably paid for Twitter Blue. He's such a terrible businessman on top of everything else. Like, so you're gonna pay your reply guys who were already giving you a bunch of fucking money. That's a way to lose money. You don't pay them. You pay like, you know, the celebrities or whatnot, or like the whomever else, someone to just be like the black people to stay on so they can be your punching bags. You know what I mean? Like, just
plus
absolutely insane.
Everyone's goal is to have people stay on the app or your site or whatever as long as possible. And he's like, I'm going to restrict how many of these you can see.
You know what?
Like, are you out of
You go touch grass. You're like, no.
Yeah. And that caused a lot of problems too, right? Like, because you think, again, people traditionally turn to Twitter for information, right? And like in Canada, you're probably aware we have a bunch of wildfires going on right now. In British Columbia, the government was trying to send out alerts about wildfires and they couldn't do it because they were rate limited. And so they couldn't send out the tweets so people couldn't see them and stuff. Like there's all these problems, right? Like it's just ridiculous.
So, okay, where do you stand on threads before we wrap?
Whoa. I'm conflicted, right? Obviously I'd like to see Twitter like destroyed. You know, like I love the place. It has meant a lot to me. I've been using it for like 14 years. But under Elon Musk's leadership, like it's terrible. But then I'm like, is it really better that we're just going to go over to another meta platform owned by Mark Zuckerberg? Like, I don't think that's the solution either. That sounds absolutely terrible. And if you use threads right now, it's like a big old algorithmic feed sending all the brands and the celebrities and the influencers at you, not the people who you actually want to follow. The notifications are a complete mess. You can only use it on your phone. You can't use it on the computer. Like, I think it has a lot of issues. And I think I'm just kind of skeptical of the idea. Like, it seems like what Meta is doing is they're not trying to like completely replicate Twitter. They're trying to say, let's give a similar Twitter experience, but one that's more ad friendly so that we can make the money that Twitter has lost. Right. And I don't know if people want that experience.
Well, I go to Twitter for the ads. I mean, really.
Yeah. I love them.
If I could see one more DraftKings ad, you know I'm gonna join.
I have so many random like kitchen appliances and utensils being thrown at me lately. I'm like,
I swear to God, like at least Instagram knows the type of shit that I would click on. Twitter has no fucking clue. I also like don't spend enough time on it. But like, no, it's true. And what's bullshit about the Zuckerberg thing that I hate is he's so obsessed with the like, we're gonna be positive, we're gonna be different. Like, no. We want real news. We want to be able to dogpile on a random person. We should never do that. But you know what I mean? Like, we still want our beanbag moments, you know? Like, stop trying to turn this into like puppies and babies and like, you know, people looking fly. Like, no. But
the other thing is like, that's not even really what Facebook is. Like, it's not what Meta's platforms are. Like, Facebook thrives on extremist like right-wing bullshit and putting it into like your uncle's feed and stuff. But then they also have like a long history of not properly moderating the content on the platform. Like, they contributed to a genocide in Myanmar against Rohingya Muslims. We know that. There's lawsuits about it. It's very clear. But even recently, there's been reporter in Insider about how this is still a problem. There have recently been people killed in Iraq and Ethiopia because, again, there were posts that were alerted to the Facebook teams and they just didn't respond to it. And they like ignored the stuff and it kept spreading these lies about these people and they were eventually murdered. And it was
it spreads on WhatsApp too. Remember, you know how obviously Meta owns WhatsApp and that's, especially outside the US, a massive mode of communication.
Absolutely. So the idea that this is like some great positive alternative to Twitter, I'm really not buying it. And, you know, obviously we'll see what happens. They've had a lot of users sign up in a short period of time. There's already reporting that user engagement has fallen off a cliff since week 1.
Sure.
We'll see if people want to use it. I'm not totally
I can't search.
Yet.
If I can't fucking search anything, like everyone was like, you know, what were people talking about? Just like anything. I'm like, why are people talking about this? Search nothing. I'm like, I'm going to Twitter now. DraftKings be damned. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.